Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. I'm Dr. Hana Sasaki, and I want to sit down with you today like we're sharing a cup of tea in my kitchen. If you're over 60, I know exactly what you might be feeling right now. You settle into your favorite chair after a morning of gardening or running errands, and by evening your ankles feel tight, your legs heavy, like they're carrying sandbags. Sometimes they even swell enough that your socks leave deep marks. You tell yourself, this is just what happens when you get older. My circulation isn't what it used to be, you say. These veins have seen better days. I hear that story every single day in my clinic, and every single time it breaks my heart a little. Because I'm here to tell you, with everything I am as a doctor and as a daughter of Japanese immigrants who valued movement and daily ritual, that this doesn't have to be your story. That heavy, swollen, tired leg feeling is not the price you pay for having lived a long, beautiful life. It's often simply a mechanical issue, and the good news is you can do something about it starting today. My name is Dr. Hana Sasaki. I'm a 40-year-old physician practicing in California, and I grew up watching my Japanese grandparents tend their garden every single morning, no matter what. They taught me that small, consistent movements keep the body alive and the spirit young. That lesson stayed with me through medical school and now shapes how I treat my patients every day. So today I'm bringing you what I call the 3-3-1-0 routine. 3 simple movements done in sets of 10 that wake up your body's natural circulation pump. We're going to take our time in this video. I want you to really understand why your legs feel the way they do, because once you see the beautiful intelligence of your own body, these exercises stop feeling like chores and start feeling like acts of love toward yourself. Let's begin by looking at what's actually happening inside your legs, because understanding this changed everything for so many of my patients. Your heart is an incredible pump, sending oxygen-rich blood down through your arteries to your feet. Gravity does most of the work on the way down, but bringing that blood back up, that's a completely different story. Your veins have to push blood upward against gravity, sometimes for 5 feet or more. To help with this, your veins have tiny one-way valves. And more importantly, they rely on what we doctors call the muscle pump, especially the calf muscles. Think of your calves as your second heart. Every time you walk, every time you flex your foot, those muscles squeeze the deep veins and push blood upward. When you're young and active, this pump runs all day long. But as the years go by, many of us sit more. We watch our grandchildren play from the sidelines. We quilt, we read, we binge our favorite shows. The pump goes quiet, blood begins to pool, pressure builds, fluid leaks into the tissues. That's where the swelling, the heaviness, and that restless feeling at night come from. I remember the first time I explained this to a patient named Martha. She was 72, a passionate gardener who grew the most beautiful heirloom tomatoes you've ever seen. She came to me in tears because the swelling in her ankles had become so bad she was afraid she'd have to give up her garden entirely. She kept saying, "I guess I'm just getting too old for this." We looked at her day together. 6 hours at her quilting table, barely moving. Her calves were essentially asleep on the job. We didn't change her medications. We didn't start her on some intense exercise program. We simply gave her the 3,310 routine and asked her to do it every time she finished a row of quilting or got up for a glass of water. 3 weeks later, she came back wearing her gardening shoes. The swelling was dramatically reduced. She wasn't crying anymore. She was laughing, telling me about the new rose variety she'd planted. "I got my garden back," she said. And I cried with her in that exam room because this is why I became a doctor. I've seen this story play out hundreds of times. There was Robert, a retired mail carrier who thought his legs were done after 40 years of walking routes. Turns out he just needed to wake the pump back up. There was Grace, whose legs felt so heavy she stopped going to her weekly mahjong games with friends. Within a month, she was back at the table, winning and laughing like always. These aren't miracles, they're physiology. Your body wants to work with you. It's been waiting for you to give it the right signals. So what is the 3,310 routine exactly? It's 3 targeted movements that speak directly to the 3 areas that matter most for circulation: the feet and ankles, the calves, and the larger muscles of the legs. We do 10 repetitions of each movement. The beauty is its simplicity. You don't need fancy equipment. You don't need to get down on the floor if that's difficult for you. And you can adapt every single piece to where your body is today. Before we dive in, I want to offer you something. In the description below, I've created a beautiful, simple, printable guide with illustrations, checklists, and space for you to track how your legs feel each week. It's my gift to you. Many of my patients say having that sheet by their chair makes all the difference in staying consistent. Let's start with the foundation of everything. Exercise 1, the seated ankle pump. I want you to sit in a sturdy chair with your feet flat on the floor. You can do this while watching television, while reading your book, even while talking on the phone with your grandchildren. Keep your heels on the ground and lift your toes up as high as feels comfortable, like you're trying to touch your shins with your toes. You'll feel a gentle stretch along the front of your lower leg. Then slowly lower your toes and lift your heels, coming up onto the balls of your feet. Rock back and forth like this, 10 times. The key is to move slowly and with intention. I want you to feel the calf muscle actually working. That squeezing sensation is your second heart waking up and doing its job. If you have arthritis in your knees or ankles, you can make the movement smaller. The magic isn't in how big the movement is, it's in the rhythm. 10 slow, deliberate rocks. What's happening here is powerful. By actively pumping your ankles, you're pushing blood that has settled in the small vessels of your feet up into the larger veins of your calf. You're literally moving stagnation. Many of my patients tell me they feel a gentle warmth spreading through their feet after just 1 set. That's blood flow returning. Now let's talk about exercise 2, my personal favorite, the lying elevated ankle pump. This one uses gravity as your friend instead of your enemy. Lie on your back on your bed or a comfortable rug. If your lower back is sensitive, place a pillow under your knees for support. Now gently lift your legs. You don't need to shoot them straight up in the air. Even a slight elevation, maybe resting them on a stack of pillows or the arm of your couch, works beautifully. The goal is simply to have your legs higher than your heart. Once you're comfortable, do that same ankle pumping motion, 10 times lifting the toes, 10 times lifting the heels. Because your legs are elevated, the blood can flow back toward your heart with much less effort. This is the reset button for your entire lower body after a long day of standing or sitting. I often recommend doing this one in the late afternoon or early evening. So many patients tell me it not only reduces swelling, but helps them sleep better because their legs feel calmer. There's something remarkably soothing about this position. It's almost meditative. While you're pumping, I want you to breathe deeply. In through your nose for 4 counts, out through your mouth for 6. This calms your nervous system while your circulatory system gets to work. One lovely woman named Patricia told me that after 2 weeks of doing this before bed, she stopped waking up in the middle of the night with restless legs. It feels like I finally gave my legs permission to rest, she said. I love that image. Now we come to exercise 3, the standing supported calf raise. This is where we bring in your body weight to really strengthen that muscle pump. Stand in front of a sturdy kitchen counter or the back of a stable chair. Please use support. Your safety matters more than anything. Rest your hands lightly on the counter for balance. Slowly rise up onto your toes, lifting your heels as high as comfortable. Pause for a moment at the top. This is where the real work happens. Then lower back down very slowly with control. If you have a small step or even a thick book, you can let your heels drop just slightly lower than the step on the way down. That eccentric lowering strengthens the calf in a very special way. Again, we're looking for 10 controlled repetitions. The slowness is what matters. I see so many people rush through this, but rushing actually reduces the benefit. Think about squeezing a sponge at the top. You're pushing every last drop of pooled blood upward. If standing is challenging for you right now, you can do a modified version while sitting. The principles remain the same. The most important thing is that you're activating the calf muscle with control. So, how do you put this all together? I'm glad you asked. You have two beautiful options. The first is to do the full routine as a circuit. 10 seated ankle pumps, 10 lying elevated pumps, 10 standing calf raises. Rest for 30 seconds, then repeat the circuit 2 more times. The whole thing takes about 5 to 6 minutes. Many of my patients do this first thing in the morning and again in the early evening. The second option, and honestly the one I recommend most, is to weave these movements into your natural day. Every time you finish a chapter in your book, do one set of 10 seated pumps right there in your reading chair. During television commercials, lie down and do your elevated pumps. When you get up to make a cup of tea, do your standing calf raises while the water boils. This is how real change happens. Not in perfect gym sessions, but in these small, loving moments you give yourself throughout the day. Your circulation never gets the chance to stagnate. I want to paint a picture for you of what progress can look like. In the first few days, you might notice your legs feel a little different, maybe less heavy when you stand up from your chair. Some people feel a pleasant warmth or even a slight tingling as blood flow improves. This is normal and actually a good sign. By the end of the first 2 weeks, many of my patients report that the swelling at the end of the day is noticeably less. Their shoes feel more comfortable. They have more energy to take that evening walk they've been missing. By the 1-month mark, something even more beautiful happens. The heavy leg feeling that used to signal the end of their day starts to fade. They find themselves saying yes to invitations they used to decline. One of my patients, Mr. Thompson, told me he danced with his wife at their granddaughter's wedding for the first time in years. Not because he was cured of aging, but because he had reactivated the systems that were always meant to support him. This is about so much more than swelling. When your legs feel good, your whole outlook changes. You move more, you engage more. You stay connected to the activities and people you love. That, my friends, is the real secret to aging well. Now, I want to speak directly to some concerns you might have, because I care about your safety. These exercises are gentle and designed for most people over 60. But if you have sudden swelling in only one leg, if it's painful, red, or warm to the touch, please stop and call your doctor right away. Those can be signs of something that needs medical attention, and I never want you to ignore important warning signs. The goal is to empower you, not to replace professional medical care when it's needed. If you have balance issues, severe arthritis, or recent surgery, please check with your physician before starting. The beauty of this routine is how adaptable it is. We can modify every single movement to meet you where you are. As a Japanese-American doctor, I often think about the concept of Kaizen, small, continuous improvement. This routine embodies that perfectly. You don't need to transform your entire life in one day. You just need to do these small movements consistently, with love and attention. Your body will respond. I also want to share something I've noticed in my years of practice. The patients who get the best results are the ones who combine these movements with a few other gentle habits. They drink water throughout the day. They try to walk a little more, even if it's just around their living room. They elevate their legs while watching television in the evening. They choose foods that support healthy veins, like berries, leafy greens, and beets. These aren't strict rules. They're just additional ways to love your circulatory system. Let me tell you about one more patient, because her story still moves me. Eleanor was 81 when she first came to see me. She had accepted that her legs would never feel normal again. She missed her volunteer work at the local library. She missed standing in her kitchen baking cookies for her great-grandchildren. After 4 weeks of the 3,310 routine, she baked her first batch of snickerdoodles in over a year. She brought some to my office, we ate them together, while she told me about the books she was able to shelve again at the library. These moments are why I make these videos, not because I want you to think I have all the answers, but because I want you to remember that your body is still on your team. It wants to feel better. It wants to support you in living fully. I'd love to hear your story in the comments. Have you been dealing with heavy legs? Did any part of today's explanation surprise you? Have you tried movement breaks before? When we share our experiences, we all get stronger. And if you know someone who might benefit from this, please share this video with them. Sometimes the greatest gift we can give is information that restores someone's hope. If you want to go deeper, I have a companion video about protecting your joints while staying active. It pairs perfectly with this routine. You can click right here to watch it next. My dear friends, your legs have carried you through so many chapters of your life. Through raising children, through caring for others, through beautiful travels and quiet mornings with coffee. Now it's time to give them a little care in return. The 3,310 routine is not about fighting age. It's about working with the wisdom your body has accumulated over decades. It's about saying, I'm still here, I'm still moving, and I intend to keep exploring this beautiful life as long as I can. Thank you for spending this time with me today. Thank you for trusting me with your health concerns. I don't take that lightly. Remember that your body was built for motion, and it is never, ever too late to wake up its natural rhythms again. I'm Dr. Hana Sasaki. Keep moving, keep hoping, and most importantly, keep being gentle with yourself. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, may your legs feel lighter, your steps feel easier, and your days feel full of possibility. Take care, my friends. Keep moving forward.